Welcome to a demonstration of a client receipt entering into Sapphire One. Client receipts can be entered from the accounts mode of Sapphire One. How we get to the accounts mode of Sapphire One is we select the mode menu. We're presented with 8 modes, and then in the accounts mode we're presented with a receivables drop-down. In the receivables drop-down in the data entry screen, we can select client receipt. If we select the client receipt, in this case we'll select the Architects Resource Group, and we go and select the Architects Resource Group. In this case I've typed an A at, and it's brought a subset of our customers. And we've gone and selected the Architects Resource Group. We'll select a particular amount that we're going to receipt. When we do a client receipt in Sapphire One, we have the ability to select how the client has paid us, whether that is by cheque, credit card, cash, direct debit, EFT or Contra. In this case we're going to select EFT. We can also add a memo if we wish, so we can add a memo onto the client receipt, and once we've done that we can green tick that and we'll go and save that. It'll automatically bring up an allocation screen. I can then go and allocate that to an outstanding amount. In this case I'm going to allocate it to the oldest client invoice, and we green tick that. And that's how simple it is to enter a client receipt within Sapphire One. We've also got the ability to enter a client receipt from the toolbar. So if we go over here, we bring up exactly the same receipt, just a different way to get to the client receipt. If we once again enter the client, and in this case we go $2,200, and we go and enter the client receipt, and we'll again select by EFT, and we go and save that, and we've got exactly the same functionality again. So we'll save. We'll allocate all that to that particular invoice, and we green tick that. Now, you'll notice there that I'm going to go and do exactly the same thing again, and we go to client receipt, and we select the client receipt, and this time I'll put the external reference number is 2989, and we go tab, and it would automatically bring up the client name for us. So we didn't have to enter the client ID, we just entered the invoice they were paying. So it automatically entered the invoice and entered the amount of that particular invoice that's outstanding. In that case we'll go green tick, and we'll allocate that, and we'll say that we'll allocate that to that particular invoice number. So that's the invoice number there, the $11,000. So there we go, and allocate that, and we'll green tick that. I'll just do that again. So if we go to the client receipt, and we don't enter the client ID, we simply enter the client's invoice number, 2988, and we go tab, and it'll automatically preload for us both the client ID, the client name, and the amount of that client invoice. We green tick that now. It'll ask us to allocate it, and we can allocate that to that particular client invoice. And once again, we can also go to our palette function here. We can come over here and we can do a client receipt. So we've got the data entry for a client receipt, 2 different ways that we can enter the client receipt. Thank you for taking the time to watch the Sapphire One data entry client receipt.